friends, welcome back into another edition of Prime Sports World. On today's episode of the show, we're going to be breaking down the week that was so far. The National Football League is number 4, almost completely in the books here. I'm David Huffman right there, my co-host, Mr. TJ Hopkins from the Daily Blitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Happy Monday, my friends. How is everybody?
Good, and you?
I'm doing all right, man. Doing all right. Can't complain too much. Let's not waste any time. Let's get right into it. Let's talk about Thursday night football. And we got the Dallas Cowboys beating the Giants 20-15, 22-27 for Dak Prescott, 2 touchdowns, no interceptions. CeeDee Lamb and Rico Dowell caught the lone touchdowns for the Dallas Cowboys. On the other side, I don't believe that, the Giants kicked nothing but field goals in this game. They ended up coming up short. They just couldn't punch it in the end zone. But let me ask you something. If you're the Dallas Cowboys, are you feeling good about this win?
No, you're not. Because it was sloppy football on both sides. For this to be the most streamed football game ever, there was a bunch of sloppy football on display. If you look at it, Dallas is 1,000 times better than the New York Giants. They should have ran away with this game like they did last year. What did they beat them by last year?
It was 40
points. Yeah. That's what it should have been again. But you also have to realize, too, in today's National Football League, you can't win games just kicking field goals. It's very rare, but it's not going to work for you 9 times out of 10. The Giants made a couple of plays, but give a little bit of credit to Dallas's defense, Ben, but don't break. Okay, you can throw it on us here and there, but once you get in that red zone, we're going to clamp down and we're going to shut you down.
I was watching First Take, listening to it, and Elle Duncan was on there, and she talks about the gap of talent in the NFC East. For the longest, it's been between 2 teams, right? Philly and Dallas. And usually, Dallas has won now, 7 straight against the Giants since Dak Prescott's been the starter of the Cowboys. And it's usually a pretty significant gap between the Cowboys and the Giants, especially the last 7 years or so. And she said the only gap that has gotten closer is the Giants competing with the Cowboys. Christian's right. They should have beat their ass. Like if there was ever a game for the Cowboys, like your get right game for the past 7 years has been the New York Giants. The game to create any kind of false hope, to create any kind of myth that y'all are serious, is when y'all go up against the Giants and y'all just straight manhandle them. That didn't happen this go round. And Dak had a good game. Like he was efficient. I don't think he turned the ball over.
Nope.
And if it was ever clear that the Cowboys have zero run game, you couldn't run on the Giants. Pretty bad. Like you should not feel good about it.
You want to talk about not being able to run the football? The New York Giants ran the ball 24 times for 26 yards. That's a whopping 1.1 yard per carry.
And that's your and that's
23 of 80 for 3.5 yards per attempt.
And your saving grace to Dallas is, hey, we can't run the ball, but hey, they can't run the ball either.
Another strong performance from Malik Neighbors as well. 12 catches for 115 yards. He had 15 targets in this game. He's been awesome so far at the start of his NFL career.
Yes.
He has.
He's probably number 2 in the Rookie of the Year race.
Yep. Moving on from Thursday, let's swing into Sunday afternoon. And we got the New Orleans Saints going into Mercedes-Benz and losing to a Younghoe Koo field goal at the horn as the Falcons win 26-24. Derek Carr, second game in a row where the numbers aren't really what we saw in the first 2 weeks. But he was never going to sustain that for the entire season. He was always going to come back down to the medium a little bit. But yeah, 28 of 36, no touchdowns. He did throw that one interception. And then Alvin Kamara had a touchdown. Taysom Hill had 2 touchdowns before he left the game with an injury. And Chris Olave 8 for 87. On the other side, Kirk Cousins 21 of 35, no touchdowns, no 1 interception. Tyler Algier was the leading rusher for this team as they only ran the ball 15 times for 88 yards for the entire game. And Drake London, leading receiver, 6 for 64 for the Atlanta Falcons.
I hate when games like this get marred by a bad call. That was not PI. I don't know that was not pass interference. That pass interference call put the Falcons in field goal position to kick that game-winning field goal. I hate when games like this, because it was a good game. I hate when they are marred by bad calls because no one's talking about the field goal. No one's talking about anything else but that bad call. That was a bad call. There's no other way to slice it. If you're Atlanta, 15 times running the ball, that's not gonna cut it. Hey, what do you do? And Raheem Morris, hey, buddy, I'm glad you got your another shot at this coaching thing, but for your answer to why Kyle Pitts had 0 catches is, hey, stats are for losers. That we don't want to hear that, bro. No, we don't want to hear that. That is not something we want to hear. Get that man the ball.
Christian.
The Saints are showing you who they really are. Yeah, the first 2 weeks of the season. Okay, yeah, they look great, but the NFL is all about what have you done for me lately? And they didn't look all that great. They didn't look great at all against the Philadelphia Eagles. And I thought that was the game they should have won. And they had so many opportunities to pull ahead in this game, and they couldn't do it. So I think their little honeymoon phase is over. Now, this is a good win for the Atlanta Falcons. These games always seem to come down to a field goal.
So that looks like PI to me. I don't know.
That's not PI.
I had to watch the replay because I was driving when this game was on. Just from this one angle, I guess I don't know. All right, moving on. To the Bears and the Rams as the Bears move back to 500 as they beat the Los Angeles Rams 24-18 at Soldiers Field. Stafford efficient, but not the numbers you're looking for. 20 of 29, 224 yards in a pick. Kyron Williams, 19 carries for 94 yards and a touchdown. Tutu Atwell, 4 for 82. And on the Bears side of this, Caleb Williams, pretty good game for him. 17 of 23, 157 yards and a touchdown, no picks. And then DeAndre Swift ran it for 5.8 yards per clip. He also got into the end zone. So did Roshan Johnson. DeAndre Swift was also our leading receiver, 7 for 72. And DJ Moore found pay dirt in this game as well.
Yeah. Go ahead, TJ.
No, you go ahead. I'll telling you to go ahead.
Listen, the Bears, they did it with defense. Caleb is starting to get comfortable slowly but surely. The Rams, I don't know what that was. Again, just like I said about the Saints, they had opportunities to put themselves in the driver's seat in this football game, and they just couldn't do it. I just really think these injuries are starting to slowly but surely affect them.
Yeah, they catching up. Yeah, they catching up real bad. Caleb made. Everybody's talking about these two specific throws that he made. Obviously the touchdown pass to DJ Moore, that was beautiful, and the pass over the seam to Cole Kmet,
really nice.
Those are 2 throws that he'll probably make them now, but when he was here, those are 2 throws that Fields was not making consistently. He'll make them, they just weren't on a consistent basis. There was a couple pockets that Caleb threw passes from yesterday that Fields would have pulled down and he would have scrambled for a few yards, which all in all is positive things. As long as positive yards are a thing in positive yards are the outcome. But to see Caleb stand in that pocket when it's collapsing and him make those throws that have asked our quarterbacks to make in the past. But damn it, that was beautiful. The big thing here is there was a resemblance of a run game. Like that was present. That was like we're like holy hell. Like this is what the offense could look like when we run the ball. This is what could happen.
131 yards rushing for the Chicago Bears as a team, 4.7 yards per clip, and 2 touchdowns on the ground.
It's like holy. It's like god damn. It's like Jesus Christ. Like this is what we've been asking for, and it's Shane Waldron's ability to go into the locker room at half and be like, hey, this isn't working. Like we got to switch some things up, and we got to switch it up now. The only thing that they have to get under control is the pre-snap penalties. They had like 12 or 13 false starts, holdings, illegal formations. It's at one point in time, it was like every time the Bears had a positive play, it got called back for something. And that's the frustrating part. Once you clean that up, you're 2-2. You're probably looking at this thing like, hey, we're a few plays away in all these games. We could be 4-0. We could be 3-1 bare minimum.
I mean, there are games in that Colts game and that Texans game where they could have easily won those 2 games. Our defense has carried us through a lot of this. Christian,
I mean, I said what I said already. Yeah. This is a good win. This is a good win for the Bears. Let's see if they can build off of this. We want to see momentum.
Right.
Sticking with the NFC North, but we got 2 head-to-head matchups here. Minnesota Vikings going into Lambeau and taking the victory 31-29. They were up 28-7 at one point in this game and allowed Green Bay to put up 22 points in the final frame to have this game be very, very close at the very end. Sam Darnold continues this strong play to start the season. 20 of 28, 275 yards, 3 touchdowns, 1 interception. Aaron Jones almost went over the century mark, but he had 93 yards rushing against his former team. And then Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison, and Josh Oliver all had receiving touchdowns for the Minnesota Vikings. On the other side, Jordan Love returns from that knee strain. Looked a little bit rusty at the beginning of the game, but really rounded into form as the game went on. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks. They threw the ball 54 times with Jordan Love. I know they were down. That just seems like way too much. They only ran the ball 19 times for 86 yards as a team. And Jaden Reed, Dontavian Wicks, and Tucker Kraft all had receiving touchdowns for the Packers as they try to come back in this game.
I said it last week. I'm saying it today. Jordan Love shouldn't have played.
I agree.
Jordan Love he should not have seen. One more week was not going to hurt the Green Bay Packers. I'm gonna tell y'all why he did play. Because of that money that they gave him. We as fans, especially us, we have a deeper appreciation for what goes into the game than the average fan, right? Malik Willis is not going to take Jordan Love's job. I know that. David knows that. Christian knows that. Izzy knows that. Packer fans everywhere know that. Malik Willis is not taking Jordan Love's job. Jordan Love saw that like he got as close to 100% as he could possibly get because they paid him the bread that they gave him. Because you're not paying a dude $250 million to sit on the sideline. The minute you get a bag, everything else changes for you. You have to prove that you're worth the bag that they gave you. So you're gonna take more chances with your health. You're never gonna be 100%. You're never gonna be 100% when the NFL season starts. So if you can get as close to 80-85% as you possibly can and get out there and play, that's what you're gonna do. You're gonna do that and you're gonna play. It was clear that Jordan Love wasn't ready. That was probably his worst game as a Packer. Easily. 4 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, and they were not good. They were bad interceptions. There's no such thing as a good interception. They were bad interceptions. Like, they were very bad. It's like, yo, why did you throw that? For the first time in his career, we're asking Jordan Love, bro, what did you see on that play? I watched the game. There was some bad, like those interceptions. Like, yo, why didn't you just hold on to that? Live the play another down. What was that? 31-29. The final score really don't indicate how much of an ass whooping Minnesota put on the Vikings. Like put on the Packers. They physically kicked their ass. It was not. David. It was not pretty. It was not pretty.
Christian.
Before I even get into football, I actually just got some breaking news. MLB legend Pete Rose has died at the age
Oh,
of 80.
you got to be fucking.
Yeah.
Wow, it's a tough day to be a legend in any pro sport.
Yeah, it really is.
Damn it.
Yeah, I just saw it on Twitter. David, I remember doing this with you when John Madden died, remember?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, wow. Thoughts and prayers out to the family of Pete Rose and the Cincinnati Reds and the game of baseball. Should have been in the hall. They bet not put him in the hall now.
Oh, if they do that, we riot. If they put Pete Rose in the hall, right, we riot.
Yeah. Yeah, but back to football. I don't know how I could even say that right now. I'm kind of pissed off with the Vikings because when you're up by 21 points, you keep your foot on the gas and you keep whooping their ass. Plain and simple. They got away from what was working for them. They let Green Bay get back in the grand scheme of things. And I agree with TJ completely. Jordan Love should not have started this game because when Malik Willis was starting, what was happening? They were winning football games. It may have not been pretty, but, I just think the Packers and Matt LaFleur, they were kind of in over their heads. Jordan looked rusty as expected. But I will say this about Minnesota. They're the real deal. They're 4-0. They're balanced on the offensive side. Brian Flores and Sam Darnold have been the MVPs of this football team because I love what Brian is doing with this defense, and he should be a head coach again. And Sam Darnold, again, it just takes one guy to believe in you, and you're seeing that.
Bro, it's not an easy thing to do to go into Lambeau and shut them up. That's not an easy thing to do. For a long time, they were quiet, and it's like, yeah, they made that little comeback, but again, it's just too little, too late. I understand, like, oh man, if we would have did this, and like, bro, you were down 21. It was bad. You were physically imposed upon. Jordan Love got his ass kicked. Like, bro, he was taking shots. And it's just like, but I called that. I'm like, hey, if Jordan Love plays, if I'm Brian Flores, hey, I'm sending the house. Every chance I get, I am going to light him up just to see. Yep, and that's what happened.
Jordan Love had 10 quarterback hits.
Come on, bro.
One sack. Moving on from this game, swinging into the AFC, and we got the Pittsburgh Steelers falling from the ranks of the undefeated as they lose to a familiar foe in Joe Flacco in the Indianapolis Colts. As Joe Flacco rides on his white horse and trying to save another franchise again this season, I guess.
Man, well, Dave, you ain't even got to finish. Bro, speaking of players who shouldn't have played, Shane Steichen, you need to lose your goddamn job today. That was goddamn malpractice, what you did to Anthony Richardson. He was already hurt. And then 2 plays later, you put him back in, and then guess what? He gets hurt even worse. That's fucking malpractice, bro. You don't need to be no coach.
But yeah, Joe Flacco did came in, threw for 2 touchdowns as they knock off the Steelers. Justin Fields, another game where he is extremely efficient. 1 passing touchdown, 2 touchdowns on the ground. He did have 2 fumbles, but only lost 1 of them. Pat Freiermuth caught the lone receiving touchdown, and Cordell Patterson, 6 for 43, 7.2 yards per clip for Cordell Patterson.
Also got hurt. Did he get hurt too?
I think so, yeah. And then the other side, Jonathan Taylor had a touchdown. Josh Downs had a touchdown. Drew Ogletree, the tight end for the Indianapolis Colts, also had a touchdown. As the Colts won the game. I don't know what else really to say.
This is on the Steelers defense. You got to play better than that because the Colts, they pretty much beat you at your own game. TJ, can you say my saying?
Bully don't like to be bullied.
And you saw it yesterday in Indianapolis. They wore that Colts defense. The Colts wore that Steelers defense down, but most importantly, they neutralized TJ Watt. He couldn't have an impact in this game like he would want to. As far as Anthony Richardson, he has to play smarter because this is 2 years in a row where he's playing recklessly and it's costing him. Someone has to teach him how to slide, or if they play a team with a veteran quarterback, that veteran quarterback's going to pull him aside and say, hey, slide like this, protect yourself at all costs. The NFL has maximized things for you not to get hit and for offenses to benefit.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, Shane Steichen, if the player is not going to protect himself, that's where you as a coach make you pull rank. Hey, I'm the coach. You sitting your ass down. Anthony Richardson had no business going back out there. Terry Bradshaw said it at the halftime report when he's calling. He was doing the highlights. He's like, yeah, Shane Steichen, I don't know what the hell you were thinking. Anthony Richardson should have been sent out there. That's on you. Him being injured worse than what he already was, that's on you, Steichen. That's literally on you. Do better.
Moving on from there, we're going to talk about the Denver Broncos and the New York Football Jets as Denver comes away with the victory 10-9 in East Rutherford, New Jersey. Bo Nix, shout out to you, young man. He threw his first career touchdown in this game, but he only threw for 60 yards for the entire game.
On his Tim Tebow shit.
Yeah, but they ran the ball pretty efficiently. 31 carries for 126 yards, 4.1 yards per clip. For the Denver Broncos, Cortland Sutton caught the lone receiving touchdown for the lone touchdown of this entire game. Aaron Rodgers, wildly inefficient, 24 of 42, 225 yards, 5 sacks, 41 yards. Braylon Allen got most of the work in the running game, as I think Breece Hall got banged up in this game. 8 of 34. Mike Williams, leading receiver for this team, is 4 for 67 as they fall to the Denver Broncos. Denver Broncos quietly getting a 2-game winning streak and beating 2 teams that people thought were pretty good.
Hey, question.
Mm-hmm.
Don't Aaron Rodgers got to see you?
Yeah, don't worry. I'm sure I'll see him on Fifth Avenue before he go to London. But I just want to say this. Vance Joseph, that's the Broncos defensive coordinator. I have to tip my cap to him and give him all the props in the world because he made life very difficult for the New York Jets yesterday, okay? They had to earn every yard, and they couldn't do it. Couldn't win a line of scrimmage because Denver controlled and dominated the line of scrimmage. And I don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers struggling in bad weather because I've seen him carve up teams in bad weather before. So that's not an excuse. But when you look at the Jets now, they're a team that kind of thrives on the running game. They've built this offense around Breece Hall. And when he can't get it going, the Jets really aren't going to win games because I'm looking back at week 2 when the Jets beat the Titans, right? Aaron Rodgers threw the ball 30 times. When they beat New England, I think he threw the ball 26 times. Yesterday, he threw the ball 42 times. You get where I'm going with this? They don't need him to be the guy that he was in Green Bay that was winning MVPs. They just kind of need him to control things. And, I mean, he was put in an uncomfortable predicament yesterday, but this is impressive by Denver. You win a game in Tampa Bay, stay on the East Coast, and then win another game against the Jets. You're 2-2. Wow. Pretty impressive. And kudos to Bo Nix as well.
Kudos to Bo. Oh, man. I this is one of those times I wish I lived in New York because I would love to hear what the local media
I'll
is
send
saying
it to
about.
you.
Is saying about Aaron Rodgers.
I'll send it to you. I got you.
I would love it. This is where I miss those old Mike and the Mad Dog, and like I wish those dudes were in their prime while this was going on. I miss Golick and Mike and Mike, like Mike Greenberg and Mike Golick. I miss their shows. They would have an absolute field day with a 10-9 loss with Aaron Rodgers lose on a losing end of 10-9. Could you you couldn't? Did y'all even sniff the red zone? Like, did y'all even get close? Again. Like you brought Aaron in. I don't even say to win games like this because this was not supposed to be 10-9. This was supposed to be a 28-10 Jets stomping. Like their defense was the one who was supposed to stymie everything, and from the looks of it, they did. Like the quarterback of the other team threw for 60 yards, 60. There are moments in time where quarterbacks throw for that on one drive. Forget a game, a whole. This is embarrassing. This is embarrassing. Hey, if there was the faith meter for the Jets and Aaron, and Robert Saleh, the whole you did, the faith meter has to be so low. It has to be so low, bro. Like, how do you bounce back from this? How do you bounce back from this?
I'll say this: the Jets aren't as good as people make them out to be,
and that's the disappointing part. Don't you agree? Like, if I'm like, what do you say? What do you say to the media? What do you say to the fan base? What do you say to each other, bro? We just lost the game 10-9.
We lost, not to mention, we lost to a team that we're better than. Like
we lost to a team that we're better than. We lost to a team where we held the opposing quarterback to 60 yards passing, and we lost. The only touchdown scored was theirs.
Speaking of confidence level, let's talk about the Philadelphia Eagles for just a second here. As they go into the pirate ship and they get blown out by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, Jalen Hurts, he was better in this game, but he still had 2 fumbles. He still turned it over one time. He leads the NFL with turnovers so far this season. 18 of 30 for 158 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley, his quietest game of the season so far, 10 for 84. Dallas Goedert, leading receiver, 7 for 62.
Can we just think about what you just said? Like 10 for 84 is quiet.
For what he's been doing this season. Paris Campbell has the lone receiving touchdown for the Philadelphia Eagles. On the other side, I was wrong. Tampa Bay might be for real. Baker Mayfield, 30 of 47, 347 yards and 2 touchdowns. He also had a rushing touchdown. So did Bucky Irvin. Mike Evans had a touchdown. Trey Palmer had a touchdown. Everybody's getting touchdowns when we play for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers as they cruise to the 33-16 victory. As the Eagles are going to have to do some soul searching for sure.
Like it was that bad of a game for the Eagles that people were referring to Baker Mayfield's comments regarding Tom Brady's time in Tampa versus his so far. And this is one of those situations where literally both parties aren't wrong, but because Tom Brady is Tom Brady, what he says holds significantly more weight than anything Baker Mayfield has to say. Like, I understand that there's different ways to be leaders. Like, leadership is a vague term. How you show it is literally up to the person that you call or hold responsible as the leader. Baker Mayfield is more happy-go-lucky. I'm going to put my arm around you like, hey, it's okay. We're going to be fine. And Tom Brady is fire and brimstone. I'm going to get in your face. But people prefer the Brady style, the Jordan style, the Kobe style. Why? Because it's won significantly more than the happy-go-lucky, we're going to be all right style. Right? So, when that's a story, this was an ass whooping, 33-16. And this was an ass whooping. There's nothing more to be said. 20, going back to last season, Jalen Hurts has 27 turnovers. Hey, but David, that highest win percentage, so it's really working out for him. Got it. It's really working out for him. Sirianni's seat, you said it. That smoking faith hot. Level, bro.
Smoking hot,
man. Gotta be. And again, this is coming off of a game where you shut down one of the hottest. At the time, you shut down the hottest offense in football. And you go into Tampa riding that high horse, and then you put this out, 16 points. What the hell? What am I supposed to do with that? With the talent that you have. Like, I understand AJ Brown's not there, but you're still, come on now. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing?
The Eagles were broken by the San Francisco 49ers in December last year. And since then, they have not been able to recover. Call it what it is. Call it what you want. Because Tampa Bay kicked them in the mouth yesterday. And you look at it like this, too. Phillies won 2 games, right? Saquon Barkley had an impact in both those games. He can't have an impact on 10 carries. A.J. Brown is out. And look, I may be wrong to say this, but I think they don't want to play for Nick Sirianni anymore.
Wow, that's a bar. He said they got kicked in the mouth, and I said with Tim's on. They had some Tim's on, and they did that.
Nah, but see, look, when you want to play for a head coach, you leave it all out on the field. And it just seems like they're quitting.
Bro, to your point, something is seriously lacking with the Eagles. And I don't when that Niners game, at what point of the season was that?
It was pretty late. I think it was right before the wheels came off of that football team last year.
Was it?
Well, remember,
was that were they already losing games by that point?
They weren't. No, that's the thing. Remember, they were 10-1 at 10-1. 11 games last year, but it wasn't dominant. They were just skating by. I even remember saying to you guys on this show, they're going to run into that one team that they're going to get behind on, and they're going to have a tough time recovering and climbing back into the game. And lo and behold, that was the game against San Francisco.
They beat Buffalo in Week 12, 37-34. The following week, they played San Francisco. They lose that game 42-19. They don't win another game besides that game on Christmas against the Giants until the season was over. Until they finally beat whoever they beat in Week 1 or the Packers in Week 1.
All I know is when they lost to the Arizona Cardinals and New York Giants last year, that's when I knew. I'm like, yeah, this will be a quick little stop in the playoffs, and then they can go to Cabo or Cancun.
Man, they was already on vacation in that playoff game. They were not there.
Moving on to the battle of the felines in the AFC and the NFC is the Cincinnati Bengals beat Carolina 34-24. Joe Burrow kind of saved their season here with this victory. 2 touchdowns to 1 interception. TJ's guy Chase Brown got into Pater twice in this game. And then Jamar Chase had to call it the lone receiving. Actually, Zach Moss and Jamar Chase both had touchdowns for the Cincinnati Bengals.
Did you see the Jamar Chase touchdown?
I have not had a chance to see it yet.
It was 63
Oh, wait,
yards.
I have seen it. I lied.
Yeah, he caught it, bounced off like 2 people, and then took off. That kind of sums up the Carolina Panthers right there.
On the other side, Andy Dalton, 25-40, 2 touchdowns and 1 interception. Chuba Hubbard goes over the century mark, and he has a touchdown as well. Deontay Johnson, Xavier Legette, both had receiving touchdowns as Carolina falls 34-24 in Charlotte.
Kind of a scary moment there for the Cincinnati Bengals, because we saw the messages that Izzy sent us, like Joe Burrow just broke his ankle, and then it went from Joe Burrow having the broke ankle to his own lineman stepped on his foot, and the way his ankle bent was like, oh, it's pretty bad. But playing through the game, I don't know if there's going to be anything more to it. I also saw on the app formerly known as Twitter, I still call it Twitter, that Andy Dalton has given the Panthers a spark. Did he?
Did he?
Did he?
I guess he did for 1 week.
I'm like, did he? Like, going it like this kind of, I don't know if winning this game would have, like, quote unquote proved that, but it would have put people in that mindset. Because why? Because it's the Cincinnati Bengals, and people are still holding on to that Super Bowl run that they went on 3 years ago now. Cincy, first off, finally you got the win. You're in the win column. Awesome, great. Now build to Christian. What Christian said about momentum. Build on it. Build on your moment. I don't know who y'all play next week. I'll find that out tomorrow. But build on it.
Yesterday showed why I have 0% faith in the Cincinnati Bengals because this was a game they should have won by more. When you know you're better than a team, you unleash hell on them, and they let Carolina hang around
Fire and brimstone.
a little too much for my liking. I don't know. This just hasn't been the same team that we saw go to a Super Bowl and go to the AFC Championship in back-to-back years. Yeah, Carolina. Yeah, I won't go as far as to say Andy Dalton is a spark plug for them. Carolina's still bad. You can get Brucey from the longest yard, and
No, not Brucey.
Football team.
Not Brucey. Not Brucey.
Yeah, moving on from the Battle of the Cats, let's talk about the battle in the AFC South as the Houston Texans go down towards the end there and score the game-winning touchdown. C.J. Stroud to Dare. What is this?
Ogunbowale.
Uguwale, yes. But on the other side, Trevor Lawrence, 18 of 33, 169, 2 touchdowns. Tank Bigsby leading rusher for this team, 7 for 90. Brian Thomas, shout out to you, young man, got his first NFL touchdown. Kristen Kirk also had a touchdown in this game. CJ Stroud obviously led the game-winning touchdown, 27 of 40, 345 yards and 2 touchdowns. Cam Akers still leading rusher as they were without Joe Mixon still for this game. Stephon Diggs hit Pater in the running game, and the Nico Collins and Dare Ogunbowale scored the receiving touchdowns for the Houston Texans as they kind of stole this game from Jaguars, who won. We're leading for the majority of it.
When I'm just waiting on Miles to have that conversation about Trevor Lawrence, man. I can't be the. Matter of fact, I know I'm not the only one. I just got to find the right people to talk to. Hey man, and Dare Ogunbowale is the brother of Orike Ogunbowale, Dallas Wings star point guard. She is very good at what she does. She is on that hardwood floor. She is a monster. If you don't know who she is, look her up. She cold. But yeah, back to this here. Jags, come on, man. Hey, conversations got to be had all the way around about Doug Peterson, about the Golden Boy. Again, this is what happens when y'all put Hall of Fame expectations and put him in the Hall of Fame before a player even does anything. Y'all still hung up on that beautiful comeback against the Chargers. That shit came, gone, and went. It's gone. It's done. Give me something new. And he can't do it. Can't do it. What's his record as a starter? Trevor Lawrence going into yesterday.
It's not particularly good. So
that conversation got to be had.
He's probably right around 500, if not worse.
I don't even think he's 500.
Yeah, I mean
Houston needed this game, especially after how they got punched around last week to the Minnesota Vikings. But yeah, I'm glad that
20 and 34.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah.
That's terrible. Jacksonville's 0-4. Crazy.
Moving on, we'll just move on from this game. Let's talk about the beatdown that went down in the big toaster as the Washington Commanders are 3-1, and I think they would win if the playoffs were to start today. I think they would win the NFC East if the playoffs start today. They're 42-14 beatdown of the Arizona Cardinals. Jaden Daniels sets the record for I think completion percentage through your first 4 games of your NFL career for any player, not just rookies. 26 of 31, touchdown, 1 pick. Brian Robinson, 21 of 101, 1 touchdown. Jeremy Nichols had a touchdown. Jaden Daniels had a rushing touchdown, and Terry Scary McLaurin had the lone receiving touchdown. On the other side, not a good day at the office for the Arizona Cardinals. Kyler Murray, 16 of 22, 142 yards and a touchdown. James Conner had a touchdown, and Maserati Marv got his 4th touchdown, I think, of his NFL career, his very short NFL career. But yeah, this was a beatdown, wire to wire, basically.
You know, the thing I like about the Commanders, they have an identity. Not a lot of football teams do. They want to run the ball. They want to pound the rock in between the tackles, bounce it outside, and then let Jaden Daniels do the rest. They're not putting everything on Jaden Daniels' plate, and that's how you have to do it.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, I had picked the Commanders to win this game, and I mean they went into Arizona and left with some barbecue Cardinals.
David, yes, 4 touchdowns for Marvin Harrison Jr. so far this season. To Christian's point about not putting everything on Jaden Daniels' plate, 4 games, 77% of Washington's plays on first down are either a screen pass or a run. 77%. So yeah, we're not going to put everything on our young rookie because it's like, hey, we know what we're good at, we know what we're not good at, we know what we have to continually work on. But while we figure the other 2 things out, we're going to kill you with what we're good at, and it's very fucking basic. It's basic as hell, and people are struggling to stop it. That's what we're doing, and you can't stop it. And this had to feel good for Cliff Kingsbury.
100%.
This had to feel so great for him. And again, I just need the energy that people are giving Kyler Murray. I just need y'all to shift that to Trevor Lawrence just a little bit, just a lot of bit actually. Match the energy. Kyler Murray we know why Kyler Murray's just not well liked. I don't think Kyler Murray takes the process seriously. Like when you have to put a clause in your contract about watching film and studying film tape, that tells me you don't care about this. You're not serious about your craft. And they so Dr. Jekyll, Mr. Hyde. Hey, Christian, the other satisfaction is Cardinal fan ain't said a word in about bro, he ain't said a word since that game went final.
You know why he hasn't said a word?
Well, when you get beat down.
Because I muted his ass.
Moving on, saying in the late afternoon window, San Francisco took care of business against the New England Patriots, 30-13. I'm not sure what else really needs to be said here.
Yeah.
Next game.
Moving on to the Raiders and the Cleveland Browns as the Raiders escape out of the Death Star with the victory, 20-16. Another one of these games where Cleveland starts off good, 10 points in the first quarter, and then they go 3 freaking quarters without scoring, and they finally tack on, I think, 2 field goals at the end here to make this somewhat respectable, 16-20. Deshaun Watson continues to just kind of be just not all that good. 1 touchdown, 1 pick. He did throw it to Blake Whiteheart, who I have no idea who that is, wide receiver.
Hell is that?
Gardner Minshew, 14-24. Alexander Mattison, leading rusher. DJ Turner had a rushing touchdown. So did Trey Tucker. Jacoby Myers, leading receiver for the Las Vegas Raiders. And surprisingly, not on their stat sheet at all is Devontae Adams. Did he play in this game?
No, he was out.
Okay. Yeah, but the Raiders, they win. They're 2-2. They won 2 games that nobody thought they'd win. They beat the Ravens and they beat the Cleveland Browns.
This is the only game me and Christian needed for like some kind of silence on the timeline.
Mm-hmm.
This is the only game we needed. And Cleveland, man, just when I think it came out today that Nick Chubb is getting ready to get back on that practice field. So
he should be eligible to come off the PUP list this week.
This week, right? All right, cool.
So, yeah.
Again, stymie defense from the Cleveland Browns. That's to be expected. 130 yards from Minshew. That's ugly. 60 yards from Madison. Kevin Stefanski needs to go to Grandma's house. Izzy, you are absolutely right. Thank you for tuning in. This is a Cleveland defense that gave up 152 yards on the ground. That's unheard of, bro. Hey, I don't know what can be said about Cleveland. Like the whole Nick Chubb not there no more. Like him not being at these first 4 games. It's like you knew Nick Chubb wasn't gonna be there. You knew going into the season that Nick Chubb, you were not gonna have Nick Chubb for at least the first 4 games. So it's on the counter. It's on everybody else to come together.
This is why you pay a quarter. This is why you give up 3 first-round picks to get a quarterback and pay him $250 million fully guaranteed money.
And this just makes what Deshaun Watson said that much more ignorant. Like, I'm not changing my style. I'm not like bro, you better do something. Because
you haven't been good in like 5 years.
You're on your way. You're on your way out the league, man. Like you are on your way. You are on your way out of the league. This is Jerry Jeudy, Amari Cooper. Literally should have won you this game. Like there are no DBs on the Raider team that can be like, hey, 1-on-1, I can take you consistently at least.
Yeah, the last Cleveland. They have had 2 back-to-back bad losses in a row. I mean, that loss to the Giants is not a good loss. This is even worse.
Like this is then you make a game out of it. It's 20-16 with basically the entire fourth quarter left, and you mean to tell me you couldn't get one stop to get the ball back and score again? You couldn't kick 2 field goals in 14 minutes?
And I was actually wrong. They Rodney McLeod had a 25-yard fumble return for a touchdown, but Hopkins missed the extra point.
But again, that happened 10 seconds into the fourth quarter, David.
Yeah, it did.
You couldn't get the ball back and kick 2 field goals to win the game?
Apparently not.
Come on. Next game, bro.
Moving on into the AFC West, we got the Kansas City Chiefs remain as one of the only few undefeated teams in the NFL right now. One of them is still playing actually in a few minutes, or in about 25 minutes, as the Seattle Seahawks get ready to kick off here. Kansas City 17, the Los Angeles Chargers 10. The Chargers got off to a real hot start. They basically had 10 points in the first quarter, and then it was all Kansas City after that. Patrick Mahomes, 19-29, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Samaje Perine had the lone rushing touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Xavier Worthy had a 54-yard touchdown as he continues what has been a pretty strong rookie season for Xavier Worthy. And Travis Kelce broke a record in this game, but I don't remember what record it is, so don't quote me on it. And then on the other side, Justin Herbert, 16-27, 179 yards and a touchdown. This team just really could not efficiently run the football, and that's kind of the staple of the Jim Harbaugh offense. 2.3 yards per clip in this game. And Ladd McConkey got his first NFL touchdown. So shout out to him. Congratulations to him, young man.
It was nice too. It was really nice. Justin Herbert, look, yeah, he was clearly not ready to go. He was so banged up, and he just made it worse. Yeah, like they got out to a hot start, like you said, David, and then because I watched this game too, and Kansas City just somehow magically always does what Kansas City does. First off, the interception that Pat Mahomes threw, not a good one. And in the process of that interception, the run back, he's the reason Rashee Rice tore his ACL.
Yeah.
Pat Mahomes is. So you're going to have Rashee Rice for the rest of the season. That sucks. But hey, Kareem Hunt, welcome back. Good to see you on the field and not on someone's practice squad. Travis Kelce finally had I don't even say a coming out party, but we saw.
His best game of the season by far.
By far, not even close. 7 catches on 9 targets. The Chargers, man, like bro, like it was, and even then, like it was right there. Like all the bad stuff that happened, quote unquote. Justin Herbert only got sacked 2 times.
Yeah, but he got hit 10, like 10 quarterback hits. I mean,
like,
not having Joe All in this game really kind of was
like, bro,
very noticeable.
It was still winnable. Like you were still right there. Like it was, This is what like this is if I'm the Chargers, I'm incredibly frustrated with with this game, just all the way around.
Christian.
Yeah, the Chiefs just find ways to win. And we saw in the AFC Championship against Baltimore, they can turn games into street fights, the low scoring battles where the defense can rise to the occasion. And that's exactly what you saw yesterday. And when you play the Chiefs, you got to have your foot on the gas for the entire game, not just the quarter, because a quarter of football will not beat them. The Chiefs are 4-0. And everybody wants to keep saying, yeah, they don't look good. And I'll say it here, like I've said on social media and I've said off the microphone. This is the preseason for the Chiefs. They do not care about this time of the year. Just as long as they have it clicking in November, December, going into January, and hopefully into February, that's all that matters to them. They're bored around this time of the year.
Moving on to Sunday Night Football and another prediction that I got wrong this weekend.
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. I thought about you because I wanted to call you and tell you what you don't know.
Incredibly wrong.
I don't know much about anything anymore. I don't think.
But that's not the way I normally say it. But okay.
Josh Allen, yeah. Buffalo gets beat down by the Baltimore Ravens as Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson basically ran it down their throats. 35-10 edge of the Baltimore Ravens. Josh Allen, not a great day at the office. It's probably a game that he will not be remembering or want to remember. 16 of 29, 180 yards, no touchdowns, no interceptions. But he did have a costly fumble in this game. James Cook, 9 of 39. Khalil Shakir, 4 for 62. On the other side, Lamar Jackson threw for 2 touchdowns. He was 13 of 18, very efficient, 156 yards. Derrick Henry, 24 carries, 199 yards, and a touchdown. He also had a receiving touchdown in this game. 8.3 yards per clip for Derrick Henry. Lamar Jackson had a rushing touchdown. Justice Hill had a receiving touchdown. This was a wire-to-wire beatdown, and like it seemed like Buffalo. It did seem like Buffalo was gonna like have some life after that touchdown that they scored, and then they got the 3-and-out on the Baltimore Ravens on the ensuing possession. But then that fumble just seemed to take the air out of the tires of the Buffalo Bills, and it was never. That was all she wrote.
TJ, can I start this one first? Because I kind of want to quote. I want to quote.
Be my guest.
Buffalo got their ass whooped. I mean, look, when I saw the Derrick Henry touchdown, what was that, 86, 87 yards?
87 yards. First offensive snap for the Ravens.
I just said to myself, it's about to be a long night for the Buffalo Bills. And look at what happened. This was the best I've seen the Ravens look all season long because they didn't blow a lead. So as I'm watching that fourth quarter, I'm almost biting down my fingernails saying, look, we know what they can do. I'm already bald. I don't need to be even more bald. But, yeah. Baltimore needed this one because I told TJ, don't let the Ravens get one.
They got 2.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing people mad about this is Derrick Henry ain't get 200 yards.
Especially one of the people here that usually contribute for this show.
Yeah, and Lamar Jackson said something that no athlete should ever have to say, but because of the advent, because of the new emergence of gambling and what it is in sports betting and what it is in today's world, Lamar Jackson and these other athletes that y'all put on y'all parlay, they don't give a fuck about y'all parlay.
Mm-hmm.
They don't care.
Mm-hmm.
They absolutely do not care.
Mm-hmm.
So y'all and Lamar Jackson DMs and mentions and all that other stuff talking about some why you ain't do this. I needed this for my parlay. Oh, fucking so what? Don't put Lamar Jackson said it best. If that's how you feel, don't put me on your parlay ticket no more. Plain and simple. it's not.
That's how big of a beatdown this game was, like wire to wire. Because we're not even talking about any of the action on the field. We're talking about the gambling side of it. This was a
he had like Lamar
Baltimore was like,
just to bring it to the game. Like Lamar Jackson had a bad fumble. I didn't like that fumble, bro. Just slide just slide. There was nothing there. Like I don't know what you even trying to do. Like just slide down, bro. Like just live to play another down. Lamar Jackson got benched at like the 5.5 minute mark of the fourth quarter.
Yeah, maybe a little bit. Mitch Trubisky came in with like 7 minutes left in the game. That's when I turned it off and I went to bed. It's embarrassing enough for me as it is.
And truth be told, if you're Buffalo, you kind of obviously you're not glad that you lost. Like no one's ever glad that they lost. But if you're Buffalo, you kind of needed this one, not to see where you're at as a team, because we know what you are. Like Buffalo, you're one of those teams. Like, hey, you're gonna come December, late December, early January, you're gonna be there. We're expecting you to be there. But this one right here was kind of like, all right, now people can kind of stop the whole Buffalo is spectacular talk, like at least just for a week. At least just for a week. And
man,
yeah, Baltimore.
Wow. Terrible.
Yeah, it's a shoulder, right?
Oh, so I was talking about the Will Levis pick he just threw.
Oh. Yeah, he went into the medical tent because he tried to dive for a first down, and I don't know what happened to. I don't know if he landed on the shoulder wrong or.
Oh, I don't have that game on. I just saw the. I don't have. I don't have a way to watch it. Anyway, sorry, but yeah, Buffalo gets beat down. It makes me look stupid. I'm very capable of looking stupid all on my own, Buffalo. I don't need your help, so you know.
And Christian, send me that stuff about the New York media, what they saying about the Jets.
You already know.
I need that. I need a laugh.
But yeah, thank you very much for joining us. This has been our week 4 so far recap. We'll be back here tomorrow breaking down both the Monday Night Football games, as long as getting you prepared for week number 5, along with our game balls. So thank you very much for joining us. I'm David Huffman, TJ Hopkins, and from the dailyblitz.blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Prime, my friends?
We bring the heat.
Kind sir.
Hell yeah. We'll be back here tomorrow. You guys all have a good night and stay safe out there. Peace out, gentlemen.
All right, brother.